How to create a request for an accommodated test. In this video, you will learn how to make requests for accommodated tests using the ACORN module, how to review your booking requests, and how to use your bookings dashboard. Once you have been directed to the main ATS page, you can create a request for an accommodated test. To create a booking, click on the Request Accommodated Testing button. If you would like to make a request that is late, a request for a deferred assessment, a program qualification, or for a course that you did not roll in via ACORN, then you will need to submit your request via the alternate registration form. When you click on the Request Accommodated Testing button, you will be asked to fill out a form to complete your booking. Keep in mind, this form is asking for information about the assessment details for the class and not for your requested accommodation details. The first part requires you to complete information about the type of request and activity that you are making the booking for. Choose whether your type of request is for a standard assessment or a makeup assessment for a course in which you are currently enrolled in. Then, you can select the course and section from the current booking session from the drop-down menu. Afterwards, you will be asked to select whether your instructor has indicated that this assessment must be written in person on campus or not. Keep in mind, this question is asking where your instructor said that you and your class must write this assessment and not where you would like to write it. If your instructor did not indicate that this assessment must be written in person, then select No. From now, you can choose whether you would like to write this assessment in person with accommodated testing services or at home or elsewhere. If you would like to write this assessment in person with ATS, then select Yes, and if not, select No. However, if your instructor indicated that this assessment must be written in person, then select Yes to the first question. Keep in mind, selecting Yes will require you to complete this assessment in person with accommodated testing services. The second step of the form will ask you to enter the writing details of the assessment, including the date, time, and duration that the instructor has indicated for you and your class. Again, keep in mind these questions ask you to enter the class writing details and not when you would like to write this assessment. For example, if your instructor indicated that you have an in-person assessment on January 18th at 2 p.m. for a duration of 2 hours, you will enter January 18th for the class writing date, 2 p.m. for the class writing time, and 2 hours for the class writing time limit. However, if your assessment takes place over the course of multiple dates, in other words, has an end date that is later than the start date, then only enter the start date and time for when this assessment will become available. For example, if your instructor indicated that you have an online assessment that will be available between January 18th from 9 a.m. to January 20th until 11:59 p.m., and you can write this assessment anytime within that time period, but once you start this assessment, then you have a time limit of 3 hours to complete it, you will enter January 18th for the class writing date, 9 a.m. for the class writing time, and 3 hours for the class writing time limit. Additionally, only enter the duration of the assessment and not the availability period. For example, do not enter 48 hours in the class writing time limit section for an assessment that has a 2-day availability period. Furthermore, if your instructor did not specify a time limit for an assessment that spans multiple dates, then for the class writing time limit, enter the time you think it will take to complete this assessment. You can enter duration up until 23 hours and 59 minutes. After completing this information, you can review your required and optional accommodations. If you have any optional accommodations, then you can opt in or out of these by clicking on the checkbox. After reviewing, you can submit your request by clicking on the Submit Request button. Once your booking has been created successfully, from this page you can either submit another request or navigate back to your bookings dashboard where you can review the submission details of the booking you just created. To do so, click on the gear icon to the right of the table row and click on the Review button to view the details. Thank you for watching this video. You can also find this information in the How To section of the ACORN Help website by visiting help.acorn.utoronto.ca.